All right. Welcome, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn. My name is Courtney Beauregard. I'm the president here at the DeSoto Area Chamber of Commerce. And I'm really excited about our presentation today coming from TC Alexander with Bank of Texas. He is going to be talking on how businesses obtain credit. So if you want to chat in the comments, you are welcome to. I will share the feedback with TC as he's doing his thing. But without further ado, welcome TC.
All right. Thank you so much, Courtney. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and hello to everyone. As Courtney said, my name is TC Alexander. I am with Bank of Texas. I am in our community development group. And so basically, I'm just honored to be here. I'm a firm, staunch believer that financial education is key to being a successful business owner. And so myself, along with the Bank of Texas team, are here to help you. Regardless, I'll do some shameless plugs. We want you to bank with us, but if you're not banking with us, we still want you to have the financial education necessary to help you navigate to be successful in business. So with that being said, I'm just going to dive in. I've got some information here I want to share with you. Please stop me and ask any questions that you have as we go along, because this is really more about interaction than it is me just giving you a lot of information. So we'll just jump right in today. These are the things that I hope to share with you today. Learn how small businesses build and maintain their credit. Explore how creditworthiness is measured in small businesses. What's the connection between your business and your personal credit? And then I'll lastly identify some documents you'll need for a small business credit application. Normally we're doing this in person. We talk about why is business credit so important. So if you look at these questions, I'll just tell you right now, the answer is all the above, right? So your credit score affects every part of the business loan process, whether it's the actual getting the loan, if you're applying for business insurance, the terms that you get on the loan, everything in there is a factor. So when we talk about what is credit worthiness, this is as a lender, these are the things that we want to know. Do you pay your bills on time? Do you stay within budget? Is your income steady and enough to repay the loan? That's a huge deal that hopefully we'll cover more today. Is your business already up and running and making money? And then have you just demonstrated the stability in your work or your business? You'll hear a lot of banks, and especially most lenders will talk about the 5 C's of credit. I'll go over them really high level. It's the capacity, capital, collateral, character, and conditions. And obviously the short synopsis of each of these is here. In capacity, can you repay the loan now and in the future? Capital, what is your injection? What cash have you put in? What funds, what equity have you put into the deal? Most banks are going to want some type of collateral. I will say there are some unsecured products out there, but again, the majority loan products out there, they're going to want to see some type of collateral. What assets can you use to repay the bank if you default? My caveat here is, at the end of the day, no bank wants to have a loan that defaults and have to come and I'm going to use the word repossess your asset. No bank really wants that, but they do have to have it just in case. And then we talk about the character. The character is your credit. I will tell you now, as a small business owner, your credit, your personal credit, will always be linked to your business. And so when we talk about character, character really comes from, when you do get credit, regardless of where you get it from, your character, how you pay that back. Do you pay back on time? Do you pay the right amount? Did you complete your commitment to repay this debt? That all plays into what we consider to be your character. And then conditions, do external factors favor the success of your business? I'm a dry cleaner, and the other dry cleaner in the area closed down they closed down. That's a good thing for me. versus the flip side of that condition would be I'm a dry cleaner and 3 more dry cleaners came into the neighborhood. That impacts me as well. So those are just some of the things that banks look at a very high level. I'm happy to answer more questions about that, but if there aren't any questions, I'll move on, dive in a little bit deeper. I will actually, again, another poll question, if you owned a small embroidery company, and you wanted to purchase new equipment, which of the 5 C's would that be considered? And I'll just give you the answer. So that would be your collateral. So again, if you're getting a loan to purchase equipment, that equipment can be used as the actual collateral, which is one of the 5 C's of credit. This was one of my favorites. It's kind of the scenario I just described. You run a bait shop in a fishing area. Your main competition had just retired and closed their store. What does that represent of the 5 C's? That would definitely be conditions. That's a situation where, based on that condition, it could benefit your business very well. So that's something that you definitely would want your lender to know that happened as they present your case to their underwriting department. Here's another one that we see commonly. For a while, you've had a food truck that serves local businesses. When you started, you purchased the truck with savings, but bought the equipment with a credit card. You still carry a balance, but you paid it on time for all of the 3 years that you've had the loan. Of the 5 C's, what does this demonstrate? So here you see the capacity, your ability to pay the loan, capital, the cash injection that you made when you made the initial savings. The initial purchase with your savings, and then your character, because you've paid everything on time for the 3 years. I would say here are some other considerations by lenders. General background questions, management, and then your employee questions, business operation questions, financial questions, personal. So long story short, when you sit down in front of a lender, whether it's a lender with Bank of Texas or any other lender, they want to know that you know what you're asking for. They want to know everything about your business. My encouragement to you is to be very, very transparent, be very candid. There's parts of the business that are a challenge. You need to state it and what you're doing to mitigate that. Because most lenders, their job is to paint the picture, is what I always say, paint the picture for the underwriting group to paint it well enough to where we can get to a yes. I will tell you that as lenders, their number one objective is to get you to a yes, right? A lot of folks want to say different things about, lenders, but a lender's job is to do loans and they want to do them. And so if they're spending time with you, understanding your business, understanding your needs for the capital that you need, at the end of the day, they want to get you an approval. So please take that into consideration. Don't hide anything from them, because knowing everything up front helps them help you be able to get to a yes with your loan application. I'll pause and see if there are any questions or any comments in the chat right now.
Everyone's being all quiet unless you want to mute their mics.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Completely understand, but not at the moment. I don't have any questions.
No worries. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk about business and personal credit scores. They're, again, as a small business owner, they're linked together. They're both used in the decision to whether or not to approve the loan or not. So there's some information there how they're similar. How they're different is just kind of what agencies track the credit and the score ranges. And I'll go over that here a little bit more in detail. But again, because your personal score is crucial to getting small business loans, here are a few tips to improve your personal score. I won't read them all to you, but please take note of that because, again, your personal credit is, I can't express to you how important your personal credit score is. Here's a couple of strategies to build your credit. which of these strategies will help you build your personal credit. And again, keeping your balances low, obtain a credit card that you use properly, and paying your bills on time. These three things here are huge component of what your credit score is. And so you definitely want to, if you do get the credit card, you want to use it properly. Sometimes, when I talk to folks, people don't really fully understand credit and what makes your credit score go up or down. So here's a slide here that kind of talks through, what makes your credit score go down and ways to improve it. So you look here on the left of your screen. These are the things that make your score go down. I wish I could tell you how many points. I think it just depends on the infraction, if you will. But late payments, bankruptcies, high debt compared to income, utilization on the credit cards or the revolving debt that you might have, all of that causes your score to go down. Ways to make it go up, like we've talked about before, pay your bills on time, keep low balances on credit cards. On that one, I will say there are times, that you have a revolving line of credit or you have a credit card where the balance is going to go high. But my encouragement is, instead of making that minimum payment, when you get paid for the service or when you get paid because of, let me back up, when you get paid from whatever it is that caused you to run the balance up on the credit card, pay the credit card back down. Even if you don't pay it all the way to zero, try to get that card, the balance on the card to be lower than 30%. I mean, the closer to 0%, better, but you want to pay that card down so that your utilization is low, so that doesn't impact your score too much. You remember, most credit cards, you have like a 30-day window to make the payment from the time that you made the charge. So if you pay the balance off in that time, it doesn't impact your score. It's just when you carry the balance, that's when you start to see the impact to your credit score. Again, consistency is important. Stay on the same job, same address for as long as you can, minimizes questions. And then just make sure you understand your credit report. There's so many ways to monitor that. Most banks are giving you that ability now on their online app. Credit cards are doing the same thing. You can go directly to the bureaus and monitor your credit that way. But definitely you want to check your credit report frequently. Again, not every day, but you want to do it enough so that you're not surprised when something pops up on there. Again, business and personal are different. Here's what's in a business credit report. It just kind of reports on your business organization information. Are you an LLC, a corporation, whether it's a S corp or a C corp, all that kind of information's in there. Talks about the ownership, and then you can get a commercial credit score, which will speaks to as a company, your potential risk for failure. It's all good information. A lot of banks use this information to help aid them in making a decision whether or not to approve your loan or not. So again, when we ask the question, which of the following ways might a lender use a business score? It's all of this. Are you credit worthy? Do you have the history of financial responsibility? Sometimes, they'll use a score to right size the loan. A lot of times people come in and ask for, I'll take as much as you'll give me, as much as I qualify for. Sometimes I always tell people, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. So it helps them determine the size of the loan that they can give you, even the approval, and then just the bank uses it to assess their risk. How big of a risk is this going to be for the bank? If you need help understanding what your scores are, here's a couple of resources here. You can go to myfico.com, get your personal score. There's other places, myfreecreditreport.com, all that fun stuff. Again, you can go to the bureaus, each bureau if you want. Credit scores range from 300 to 850. Obviously, the higher your score, the better. So, be very, very protective of your score. Business scores, as you see, they range from 0 to 100. A lot of different ways for you to see your business score. There's Dun& Bradstreet, Equifax Business, Experian Business. Whichever bank you're dealing with, you want to talk to them to understand which one of these that they use so that you can make sure you're doing things around that bureau to help ensure your score is accurate. Another business credit score, the FICO Business Scoring Service is very, very popular. I'll tell you, that's the one that we use as a bank. It kind of pulls from your business and your personal credit score. The range is 0 to 300. I would tell you that if you're, depending on the bank, Bank of Texas specifically, if you're in that 180 or higher score around your SBSS score, that's a good look for you. That gives you a better chance of getting a yes. A little south of 180, a lot of times some banks will use that 170 to 180 space to be able to do something like SBA lending. I won't get too deep in the weeds on that because every bank's a little different. I will tell you, Bank of Texas, I think if you're between 170 and 180, we will definitely look to do this under SBA, which this is not your parents' SBA, so going SBA is not a bad thing. It's very easy. And it, like I said, it's just not like it was before where it took months to get an approval and, there was a big, thick stack of paperwork you need to fill out. It's so much easier now. Steps to good business credit, again, not much different than personal. And so I won't read them to you, but again, paying your bills on time is very important. Keeping low balances on the credit is great. To maintain it, here's some suggestions. Subscribe to credit reporting services, make sure you get a DUNS number, a data universal numbering system, so that people can track your vendors. No, I'm sorry, not your vendors. Your creditors can report things on you that show that you're making your payments on time and you're a good customer to them. Something I think is really, really important is you want to borrow from lenders who report to the credit bureaus. There's a lot of vendors, a lot of banks, a lot of financial institutions that don't. You want to be sure that you're asking that question because you want to be able to capture all of the good credit activity that you're doing. I won't dig too deep into this, but here's one of our questions is normally, here's a company that specializes in helping companies take down and reinstall their computer system. This guy's credit's okay, but they pay on time and carry large balances on several cards. What would help them qualify for a business loan based on what's here, these 5 choices? And simply the answer is just to pay down their credit card balances. Some of this other stuff, as you see, doesn't really help you with a financial institution in approving your loan. It's great that you increase your budget. It's great that you've got credit cards, things like that. But if you have high balances, you want to pay down your credit card balances because that will raise your scores. I'm going to move forward to actual business loan application checklist. This is different for a lot of different banks, and it also differs by the size of the loan that you're requesting. But the majority of them, they're going to ask you for a business credit application. They're going to run your personal credit report. Depending on the bank, they're going to ask you for both your business and your personal tax returns. If you're a nonprofit and you don't do tax returns, they're going to ask for financial statements. A lot of times you're going to be asked for a personal financial statement. That is just a document where you get to list out, hey, these are my assets. This is how much money I have in the bank, investments, property, things like that. On the right side of that document speaks to your liabilities. Hey, here's my mortgage payment, my car notes, whatever other loans that I have. And it gives the bank a snapshot of all of your financial information. They're going to want to know what's the collateral for the loan. whether it's equipment, whether it's inventory, if you're cash securing it, whatever that is. Anyway, I'm gonna go through each of these, but these are just some of the things, and again, depending on your request, depending on your industry, depending on the amount of the loan request, a lot of this will vary. But I will tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the credit application, the personal credit report, is going to be a constant regardless of where you go. Shame.
Question.
Yeah.
Somebody's hand is raised in the comments. Rhonda?
It was that I can wait till the end. It was on the part before this with credit and business credit and personal credit, but I can wait till the end and ask questions.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, it's about disputing. So I can get maybe, that's it. I can go to the end.
Gotcha.
Thank you, though.
Oh, you're very welcome. Earlier I talked about SBA financing. I'm a huge fan of SBA. I've been in banking. I don't think I said this when I introduced myself. I've been in banking 23 years now, 22 years. And majority of that time has been in and around the small business, commercial space. And SBA is an absolute great resource. Again, it's not like it used to be. Like I had a cousin that worked for SBA for 35 years and, stacks and stacks of paperwork, long time to get to, a decision. Not the case today. And what SBA does, in my opinion, or from my experience, it allows the bank to say yes when it normally would say no. Again, the bank can give you the loan. As you see here, it helps us be able to say yes when we normally say no. It gives the bank some guarantee from the government that, hey, if this deal goes bad, we're going to help cover the cost. So now there's less risk to the bank, which makes them more apt to want to approve the loan for you. Here's just a couple of the products. They have several, but here are the three, I would say, biggest, the most used products. You have the 7A loan. Again, you see the max is 5 million. There's a guarantee, 10% down by the borrower. So that's your injection. The bank does a 90% loan on whatever it is you're getting the loan for. 504, that's more of a real estate deal. You as you see here, offered for owner-occupied real estate acquisitions, construction, heavy equipment purchases. This is a really cool structure because it allows you to put 10% down. You have two loans. It's I don't want to get too deep into it, but for the bank, as you see, the bank's only doing 50% of the loan. So again, it minimizes their risk, gives them a better opportunity to tell you yes versus no. And then the SBA Express and veteran programs. Again, I love that Express program. My previous bank, we kind of made a living off of this because it was short, sweet, to the point. Even though it was SBA, you could probably get it done inside of 2 weeks. And that was a while ago, so it's probably a lot faster now. And it's just, again, it's very basic. You have to answer a questionnaire or two, and then that's all they need, unless there's some things on the questionnaire that you answer that requires more information. But the bank that you're talking to, you hope for them to be a SBA preferred lender. If not, the process will be a little longer, but if you're talking to a bank that's SBA preferred, it's usually a pretty simple process. Here's something that I'm starting to be a bigger advocate for. Not starting to. I'm talking about it more because I think needs to be more information about it. Community development financial institutions. These are nonprofit funding organizations. Their sole purpose in life is to fill the gap that banks, where there's a gap between the banks giving you the loan and you not getting the loan. These organizations are absolutely amazing. From my experience, they fill that gap that banks don't like, right? So for example, the biggest one that I see, most banks, if you're less than 2 years in business, they label you as a startup business. Most banks don't like to do startup loans to startup businesses, but CDFIs will. Now, It's not a guarantee. I mean, you still need to come with a decent credit score, a good business plan, the ability to pay the loan back. But it does give you the opportunity to, when you're a startup, you're thinking about going into business, or if you're in the growth stage of your business, it gives you an opportunity to say yes. You still will keep your accounts at the bank, but your lending will come from the CDFI. And, once you become what we call bankable, right? So you cross the 2-year mark, or your credit gets better, whatever the situation is that resulted in a referral to the CDFI. Once you overcome that, they send you back to the bank, and the bank refinances their debt at a lower interest rate and maybe some different terms. But CDFIs are truly a wonderful thing. And whatever bank you're working with should have a partnership with a CDFI. So again, I encourage you to talk to a banker to try to make sure that you get directed into the right place. So that's kind of really all I have. Again, hopefully a little bit better understanding of the 5 C's of credit. Remember, if you're running a small business, your personal credit score is important. And to apply for a small business, there's just different things that you need, but you just definitely want to make sure you have all your documents. See, my colleagues joined. Hello, colleague from Bank of Texas. So this is a great time to ask questions if you have them, because we have subject matter experts on the screen with us right now. And so we're happy to take any questions that you have.
If you don't mind, if anybody does have questions afterwards and emails me anything, I can definitely connect them with you to stay connected.
Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely would appreciate that. If you don't mind, can I just have 30 seconds to introduce my colleagues that jumped on the call?
Yeah.
So I don't know about your screen, but in the middle of my screen, bottom middle, is Wanda Brown. Wanda is a financial center leader for our bank. She manages the location in Oak Cliff. So she's really not far from DeSoto. Several years, even though she doesn't look it, she's got a lot of experience in banking, and she's absolutely there. They're right there at 12th and Zane. Wanda, can you tell us the address? Because I don't really know it. I just know how to get there.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. My address here is 201 West 12th Street, and that's Dallas 75208. And I'm literally on the corner of Zane and 12th Street, right off of 35. And so very easy to act. I'm very accessible as far as the access to the branch. I actually have a team of 4 team members that work at this location. So we try to schedule appointments to come in to speak with us about your business. And so we're here to help you grow and hopefully provide some solutions that may be beneficial for you. So please come by and see us. I've been in banking for about 21 years, right there with TC. New to Bank of Texas for like the last 3 months. But again, I've been in banking for about 20 plus years. And so I look forward to assisting you guys in any way that I possibly can. Come by and see me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And then on my screen, he's in the bottom left-hand corner. This gentleman and I go back 22 years, I believe. He is a senior business expert. Nope, not expert, senior business banker. So we've been together. The title has changed, but he hasn't. He's still the same. But I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Uselton Burton. Uselton, if you just say hi to the people and just kind of give them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Good afternoon. Thanks, TC. Yeah, we've been together a long time, that's for sure. My name is Uselton Burton. I'm the senior business banker here at Bank of Texas. I've been in business banking for 20 plus years and in the industry for 29 plus years. So look forward to helping you guys. And I think we can definitely have enough experience around the video here to definitely help you strengthen your business and move your business forward in the right direction. Thank you, TC, for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. So actually, Ms. Courtney, without any further ado,
Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for joining.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much
thank
for
you.
having us. Thank you, TC.
Sure, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.